So for this video, I'm going to be explaining things that normally I just don't think about, that I subconsciously can do, that I take for granted, that normally I just expect things to make sense or they're too complicated to really explain because they come from a long time of learning how to play. You know, a lot of experience from fighting players and predicting their next move and things that just happen automatically for me. And to do that, we're going to be... I have a couple of notes about it, and I'm going to be looking at past videos I've done and trying to explain why I did things. So, let's see. Things I take for granted. Got stamina management, the rhythmic experience, you know, the ability to dodge things because you know the exact timing. Three-dimensional awareness, how long it's gonna take someone to run up behind me when I'm not looking at them before I have to roll away, or predicting that they're gonna shoot me in the back, you know. How to play the build properly, like, don't push L2, it's L1 because you're using a staff and not the sorcery sword, the carrion sorcery sword. Like, you can't push L2 to use your right-hand weapon because you have a shield in your left hand, and you're gonna do parry instead, so you have to two-hand first, you know, things like that. Why attacks cause reactions, how everything works. Like, I'm gonna explain this more in a little bit. Why attacks cause reactions, how everything works. So that's like why people do the things they do in response to what I do. And how everything works, which is like, okay, bleed causes hit stun, frost causes hit stun and a defense debuff, but it's temporary and fire will reset it, so you need to stop using fire damage because the defense debuff is massive, and then the bleed takes a while to build back up. It's not always reliable, and sometimes you'll hit yourself out of your own combo because the bleed hit stun is different, you know. Really complicated stuff. And then reading your mind, because I know what you're gonna do next most of the time. It's just sometimes I'm panicking. Sometimes my health is low, and I'm trying not to die, and I can't think about what you're trying to do right now. But I try. Yeah, so we have a selection of videos that I pulled up 5 minutes ago. Just picked a couple that were pretty short, pretty easy to understand. Let's check this one out. It's I'm Stuck Step Host. It's the one where I'm stuck in a wall on spawn. So I think, oh, they're right in front of me. Like, okay, I'm gonna buff up because they're right in front of me. So I can just run up and attack them with the L2 that way that I do. And then, oh, I'm stuck in the wall. Oh, you're approaching me. And then I just L2. Oh, the host is here! And then I won. And I'm stuck in a wall, so I feel pretty good about that, so I do a teabag. Ah, yeah, you can't... You can get out of that, but it's really difficult. Especially while people are fighting you. You can't really do anything about that, so... I know this build, its whole thing, is to push L2 and kill people. And I think that was funny for a while. It was nice, because, you know, it's not a amazing L2 at level 50. You have to actually build around it at level 50, which is why it was kind of interesting, but it... As we've seen a little recently, I don't really like that anymore. Especially when it happened to me. And I've been trying to dodge it, and I don't see the L2 very often, so... Not really prepared for that. You have to, like, dodge early, so that you can dodge again and have enough distance. I'm not sure. I'm just dodging it wrong. That's the only thing. So, stuck in a wall. But, I have the lead and hard tier active, so it doesn't matter that they hit me. So, I see them approaching me. I push L2. There you go. Simple as that. I know that the L2 does a lot of damage. It's really the only hope I have. If I wasn't going to do that, I should have abused my iframes on spawn to use the Phantom Finger to teleport. Because that would be the only way that I could get out of this situation before they start attacking me. Because they already know that I'm there. Because otherwise, I could attempt to jump out, because I have another short where I am unstuck, is what it is called, where I was able to jump out of this predicament. But it's not reliable, it's not easy to do, so I don't recommend it. It's much better to just try and teleport, but it is a possibility. Which is not something you can say about a lot of the other places you can get stuck in. But yeah, this happened a long time ago, which is why we have the Antspur Rapier in the offhand, because I was being a little mean to people, because I wanted to win, and people were pretty tough, because they were coming from Dark Souls 3. Like, a lot of them, you know, we still had the Dark Souls crowd going. It was nice. And also there was poise, so I had to fingerprint Great Shields, you know. It's gotten a bit different lately, so, moving on. Fingerprint Shield Trio. I'm not sure exactly how this went. Let's find out. Okay, so we spawn in. Immediately, we see where the compass is. The compass right here. Is this quality kind of low? No, it's 720. Let's go HD. We're not doing anything. Yeah. You see the compass. You head towards the compass. You buff up. Because I don't know, honestly. I guess we're close enough. I could see them through there, but I don't know if I saw them before. See, they're like right here. So, when they're within range of about this much distance, especially when you're behind a wall and you can still see them, and you're not sure if they can see you yet, although you are glowing bright red, you have to be aware. If they're looking at you, they can probably see you. If you're glowing bright red. So, because of that, activate the physic, run in. And buff up, run it. And they're not moving anywhere. Oh, and you saw right there, like really short, right here, I block to cancel the animation. That's something I take for granted. I do that a lot. I try not to sometimes, because if someone is attacking me while I do that, it does count as blocking, and blocking with a weapon is not a good idea. Because you'll get guard broken. And then this is something that I've learned somewhat recently. If you get guard broken, and someone's not hitting you with like a super hard weapon, like a colossal sword, they can true combo you. Like if someone's not blasting you with an Ash of War, let's say that. Yeah, they can true combo you for 2 swings. And not just like 2 R1, R1, but like, if they're power stance, they can L1 you most of the time. Because like your poise will matter for this situation as well. It's like you just fell asleep. Imagine that. Your character just got slept. Their sleep status bar just filled up when their guard meter broke. Their stamina ran out and their guard is broken. Instead of getting a riposte, someone can now hit you twice. Because sleep does that too, by the way. So yeah, we're running in. I'm nervously switching through my equipment. I do that right here, see? Just to make sure, remind myself visually what's where. And also to get the muscle memory. And that was to throw a freezing pot. I don't know what happened there. I clearly threw that freezing pot at that guy, but I guess it splashed in front of them. Or they're super laggy. So, immediately, taking for granted, I threw this. I noticed that it didn't do anything, and I start trying to reason why that happened. Like, are they laggy? We need to be careful now. This character, pay attention to them. So throw it again. And that time it hit. So now we don't need to worry. And also they're starting to move. So this guy's been debuffed. This guy's debuffed now. Their health is lower. Therefore, they can be the primary target. They are the weakest link. They're also the one moving towards me right now, which is even better. And we are super buffed up. So let's see what happens. So they have their shield. So I have to be careful, especially because of the range. And I don't know if you saw, but I backed away after I swung, because I know that the hit stun of my attack is enough for them to not be able to attack into me as I back away from the range of their poke. And then I move forward immediately and attack again, but I see that they're attacking right here, because normally I can move in and swing in between their attack, which is what I did. But my attack barely did anything, and they are immediately attacking. So now I have to roll. This guy's doing an Ash of War, and it's going to move down this rock towards me, so I need to be aware of that. And the host is coming up too now. Oh, and that's Spear Caller. I don't think I saw that. But I'll see this. So, yeah. Rykard's Blasphemous Blade. That hurts. Do not get hit by that. So I see they're starting to use Spear Calling, the Spear Call Ritual. Ritual Spear, whatever it's called. Ash of War. That's very dangerous. I don't want to get hit by that. This is before it got nerfed, I'm pretty sure. And even if it's not, it's still really dangerous. So I'm running away. Because all of them are attacking me now, and you should never try to fight 3 people at once. And that guy hit me from really far away. That's a bit of a verticality or lag issue. So that's something to remember. You saw again, you might not have seen, but I did the thing where I canceled my animation by blocking. The other guy used Blasphemous Blade. You saw I roll right here, right? Because I think, oh, that guy used Blasphemous Blade. I know the exact timing. Whoosh, fire, roll. So yeah. And now this guy is isolated from the group. Now I have to get out of the way, I have to back off, because that guy's doing Blasphemous Blade's attack. And there's still 3 of them. And I managed to debuff that guy again, I think. No? Okay, so this is a free debuff. The swords are still here. I don't think I have light roll on this character yet, but I'm not sure. So you have to get away from Spear Call. At least you used to, for sure. So roll into that. And murder. So you see what I did right there? I rolled towards this guy to avoid the final part of that running R2, which you should never do. Unless you're trying to have fun, maybe get the final hit. As an initiator, never do that running R2 with the Great Spear. Or the running L1 with power stance ones. Because it's the same thing. And then I just proceed to kill them. So now this guy is doing the thing. I did not get the backstab. Poke, 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 poke. And I'm charged up now, but there's still the Spear Call. Spear Call is still happening. I have to be respectful of that. I think I might have light roll. I don't think I'd be able to get through that otherwise. I tried to punish that, but I'm still not used to the jumping R1 of this weapon, which is the Rapier's power stance R1. It doesn't have a very good tracking. You see, right here, when this guy's using Blasphemous Blade's Ash of War, I wait to roll. Because rolling actually takes some animation time, you know? So I wouldn't have been able to try to attack them, and I had to see if they were doing that towards me, because a lot of the time, even if there's an enemy attacking them, they'll still go after you. So you have to be aware of that. But this time he was attacking the enemy. So I run up and try to hit them, but there's not enough time because of course not. Oh, guard break. I could have killed that guy because of what I said earlier about how guard break works, but didn't expect them to get guard broken. Okay, so this. Immediately, this guy's dead. I don't need to care about them anymore. Where's the host? Okay, the host is over here. They're using an Ash of War. It has a very long recovery time. I can punish that because I'm within jumping attack range. I'm going to do a running jump attack at the perfect moment, which is right here. The moment my run starts, I can get a far jump distance, get through the Ash of War, lock on to aim my attack better, and then punish them for a lot of damage. Apply pressure. they, smart, are blocking now. However, that is the first... In reaction to that, for the same reason I did this earlier, I know that my attack is going to have enough hit stun for their retaliation. I back away, and then I attack into them like crazy. But the fingerprint shield is the fingerprint shield, and it doesn't care. I, in disbelief, do not pay attention to their next attack. So I get hit. And then I do it again, because no way it will happen again. And then they die. There we go. And T-pose. So did you learn a lot from that? That's pretty good, right? We got more. It's gonna be the whole video. Maybe 30 minutes, hopefully. Not too long. Oh yeah, moving on. This is the kind of gank squad I like to see. Let's see what I did here. So first, I see... Where's the host? The compass tells me the host's over here somewhere. I turn around, I see this guy move. So I know, oh, there's someone over here. Oh, they're throwing stuff at me. I still have iframes, so I don't really care. This character still used the spiral horn shield back then. It doesn't really matter anymore. So this guy's healing. They're open for attack. I attack them. It's a little too late. So there's two of them. So I try to attack this guy, but they dodge it. That's fine though, the bleed will still build up. This guy's approaching to my side. I know that this guy that I just attacked is probably not gonna run in and attack me again. This guy is approaching my side, so I need to be ready for that. However, my weapon has a little bit of hyper armor, so I can kind of just angle my attack, lock on at the last second to aim the attack better, and swing into them. What are they gonna do about it? And then I tried to roll catch, but I messed it up. Also, I did another block. Right here. That's a block to cancel the animation. And I try to roll catch, but they get a bit farther away than I thought they would. And because I messed up, I get punished for it. So now I have to pay attention to this guy, because they have a new weapon that I didn't see them switch to, which has a lot of range. But that's all it has, so... We try to attack, but they are no longer aggressive. They ran away. And they are now in between me and the host. The host, however, has just debuffed themselves and massively boosted their damage, but massively decreased their defense, which is way more important. So this guy's locked into an animation. This Phantom is doing an Ash of War. You can cancel it. I believe you can cancel it now, but that doesn't really matter, because I can throw a freezing pot at you right now and get the debuff. And do another block cancel. So they're gonna do it again. So I'm not wanting to really deal with that. And I get punished because... And then I get dropped on by a third Phantom who I didn't even know was there. So now I have to get away, because you cannot fight 3 players. And I ignore what the host is doing for this entire time, because it really doesn't matter. So if you don't charge Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike, it moves very predictably, because it only hits once per strike. So I know this one's going that way, this one's going that way, nothing is gonna hit me here. I am completely safe, I do not have to roll. I do have to dodge that, however the other one is difficult to deal with, because they time that perfectly. So that one I have to dodge, the other one hits me. Now I have to dodge this lightning, but I'm counting the timing for this Phantom. And I'm also managing my stamina. So, you have to delay that dodge for right before the hammer hits the ground. And then the host I saw threw a lightning spear at me, but I just saw it at the last second, and I was just barely able to react to it. I don't think it would have hit me, but I was moving in a way already to the side, because they've been throwing so many lightning spears at me. I moved to the side, because otherwise that lightning spear probably would have hit me and I would have died. But I was already moving to the side, because I knew they've been throwing lightning spears at me. And as I said in a previous video of the methods of Pally, this is how you dodge magic. You have to perpendicularly move, and I'm not sure if that's completely correct, You have to horizontally to a, like, diagonal move backwards from where the spellcaster is and to the side. Mostly you want to move to the side, but if you're not far enough away yet, then the projectile could still hit you, which is why I say diagonally. So now we heal up because we're far enough away. I trusted that this lightning spear was too far away to hit me, and I did not react to it. It got really close, as you can see. I shouldn't have done that, but because I had healed and I was feeling confident, I didn't dodge it. So you have to dodge Bolt of Grand Sax, though, because that one goes super far. Same as Frenzied Burst, I would say. So I pulled out my bow, because the bow is typically how I deal with that. So, to dodge Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike at this range, it's much easier if you just roll into it. And this guy over here is using a bubble. So now I think, okay, but then this guy in the back is using Bolt of Grand Sax still. They just healed using the Cerulean Flask, so I have to dodge that. This guy's using the bubble. The host, I don't know what they're doing. There's 3 of them. I'm far enough away where I don't have to look at them as much. But I feel like shooting the host with an arrow because it's funny. A lightning spear comes through the bubble, but it was too far away. I would have been hit if they were close enough, because I did not see that. But I saw that one, but we were still far enough away. That one was red. Because it was red, I was able to tell that that's the Bolt of Grand Sax. I have to dodge that. So I dodged that. The host is still not using Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike properly. So dodge this, Bolt of Grand Sax, Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike, do not care. Look at them funny. One of the bolts was headed towards me, right here. You can see I look at it, and then I roll. I'm like, oh, that's pretty close to me. But it was at the end of the animation. So 3 of them. Night Comet now. Dodge the Night Comet. I think I might have heard it. With 360 Freezing Pot. Dodge the Night Comet. This guy's getting close to me. I have to pay attention to them, especially because they have the patas, and they want to do the running attack. Luckily they missed. So I don't have to care. I don't know what this guy's doing. They switched to something and did a running attack. Someone threw a lightning spear. I must have heard it. Running attack the host. Almost kill them if I timed that better. Almost punished that, but messed it up, so... The host is approaching me right here. And they're probably thinking I'm not going to do anything. And typically the host is the greediest of all the group. And the least experienced, so... Running R2 them real quick. This guy's got a lightning spear coming. It makes me panic a little, which makes me mess up this roll catch, which I did very poorly. This guy has rivers of blood now, so I have to be careful of that. And I try to punish it, but I underestimate the range of the final swing a lot. And I get hit by that. The lightning spear almost hits me, but I am able to dodge it. Just out of range of this rolling attack. Because they stop right there to do L2 instead of a running attack. Because I didn't realize, now they have Rivers of Blood too. So now I have to dodge that, and then wait during the second part. So they go whoosh whoosh, wait, do not panic roll, now roll, so that you can dodge the third part. This guy's back to Hammer of Marika, so roll into that. Try to get the backstab, maybe some sort of punish, but the host is running up behind me again. So now we running R2 them again, see if they've learned. They haven't. Roll catch them, again mess it up. Look back, this guy's got the whip back out now. Dodge the whip. This guy's coming up again, he's doing something. Jumping attack, I don't care. Try to punish it, get the roll catch. Dodge this, nope. I was far enough away. Did an R2, messed up I guess. Accidentally dodge everything by panicking. Get a sneaky heal in. Try to storm collar because I'm panicking. Luckily, this guy blocked his friend and forced them to get roll caught by the third part of Stormcaller, or the second part of Stormcaller, which is why that guy died. Suddenly the host is using Rivers of Blood again, but I don't care because the host is the host, and therefore they're close to my level, so therefore they don't do as much damage. Dodge this guy, running R2 because they switch. They don't care about my hyper armor. Have to respect the Ancient Dragon Lightning Strike, try to punish it, but it's too fast recovery. Switches back to a spear, is just mashing and dies. Host is the only one left. They're out of FP, I can outspace their Rivers of Blood because they're out of FP. Roll catch them properly this time. Bow. Because that was a nice fight. That was a good fight, that's what I like. Very hectic. Lots of things happen very quickly. And you just have to... This guy, that guy, that guy, this guy. This one's attacking me, this one has to attack me, but I need to roll catch this guy, but I can't be greedy, so I need to focus on this guy now. Let that guy heal, fight this guy, go after this one, manage the stamina, never let it run out. Always make sure, like, if stamina fills up, you can do something. So turn around when stamina is good, or just keep running. Manage your stamina. Okay, one more exploiter down. Let's see, so we spawn in Limgrave. We're level 33 for this, so Limgrave makes sense. Guy's name is COVID-19. I don't appreciate that, but it gives me the opportunity to kill COVID, so we throw that. They buff up, they have a rune arc active, and I'm noticing, okay, this is going to be kind of rough, but I'll try, because I feel like it. They're running away from me, so I get tired of that and use something they can't really run away from. I don't like to use Star Shower because it's stupid and I hate it. So instead we have Glintstone Stars, the one that fires 3 that you can avoid if you pay attention. But they're not paying attention, so they get hit by it. But it only does 3 damage, so I know something's up. I also see they're wearing full Tree Sentinel armor with like the cat helmet and Vike's Frenzy Flame Spear. So I'm thinking, oh, this is just gonna be horrible. And my attack didn't do damage. Huh. Why not? And then I shoot them, it does 1 point of damage. Because I think, oh, did that even do damage? I want to see if they're cheating, but that did 1 point of damage. Okay, it's the Hyrotis helmet, but still. So now I'm like, huh, that's not right. And my frenzy build up is too high now for me to interact with them without getting severely punished for it. So now we have to run away and cure it. But now we're good. So I freezing pot them, they get frosted. But a shine happened and their health went back up. They barely took any damage. So they messed up there, so that gives me an opportunity to use another bolus, which, by the way, taking this for granted, before the fight, we have the boluses equipped for Bleed and Frenzy, specifically because of how dangerous they are. Bleed is very common. It does a lot of damage, and everyone uses it, even if they don't want to, because if they want to use a katana, unless it's 2 that don't cause bleed, 2 of the ones that don't cause bleed, it has bleed on it. Lots of things have bleed. Frenzy is very dangerous, and much more common than Sleep, despite them both having a very long stun. Now, if I do run into Sleep, I usually don't also run into Frenzy, but Frenzy is way more likely to actually be more common. You know, it's way more likely for people to use Frenzy, because there's the incantations, there's the Frenzy Flame Spear, there's the Fingerprint Shield, things like that. Sleep is not as common, so that's why I have Frenzy and Bleed boluses. So I'm still not completely aware. Or maybe I am. Maybe that's why I'm teabagging right here. But I'm still trying to find out. Like, my damage is not really doing anything. But I see they just got fully healed somehow. So I'm like, oh, you're cheating. And here comes a blue. So now that the blue is here, I know I have a few seconds. So yeah, this guy's cheating. Somehow. They've activated a glitch that allows them to heal randomly. And actually, I was able to replicate this before they patched it. A long time ago. Not a long time ago, like earlier this year. I was like, huh, how does this work? It doesn't work anymore, so I'll tell you. and there's no way to stop it. Now, I can kill them if I wasn't a wizard, which is why we have this mist now, because that will kill them, and that's why they're afraid of it. So the blue is here, so I'm not going to fight a blue phantom and also someone who's using a glitch. That doesn't work anymore, I'd like to stress. I'm pretty sure. Quite certain. But the frost pots are still fun to throw at them. And yeah, I'm gonna taunt them. They're cheating. So yeah, we've run away from this guy for a while. And I had the dragon sort of try to protect me. There's 3 of them now. There's 2 blues and the host. We're running. I'm trying to think of ways that I can hurt the host. Something that I can do. I think maybe I can sleep them, but sleeping them isn't really going to help me in this situation. They're still running after me. I'm just thinking. Maybe I can sleep them, but I really should buff first. And we're running out of stamina, so we can't attack back in this moment. So we have to stop, because you never want to go to 0 stamina. Because if you go to 0 stamina, then you can't run. So right here, this is the limit. You should never go below this much stamina. See? So you see, I stop running so I can regenerate stamina. And because I wasn't watching, they threw a dagger in my back. And you can't be not watching, because they'll do stuff like that. They'll throw stuff at you. But it's very difficult to tell where you're going. So it's not too big of a deal. Unfortunately, right here, because of the way that lock-on works, I locked onto the blue because I didn't move the camera to the right enough to lock onto the host. Which made this attack whiff. And because, of course, the host does not care about anything because they're literally unkillable by someone who's not using a pure physical build, they run right in and hit me. And now the blues, because they're idiots and don't know what's going on and only understand that red is bad, are trying to help the host. Because of course they are. You know, why wouldn't they? I know that when I was very young, I helped out cheaters because I didn't know they were cheating. I just thought they were max level. It's fair. So we bonked the blues. For fun. Maybe I can kill a blue, right? Oh, we fell pretty far, but luckily I'm alive. We don't have any more heals, though. But they're probably not going to run after me. Oh, but they did. They're just stupid. So as you can see, we haven't been able to heal still. I'm trying to get far enough away that I can teleport. Oh my god, that almost killed me. So hopefully the crab can help. Okay, so the raw meat dumplings. It's time. I keep these. I don't like to use them, but the raw meat dumplings to kill this guy, that's fine. Now, raw meat dumplings inflict you with heavy poison, so this hurts. However, I've also been swapping my rings. I have more raw meat dumplings. I jump right there to avoid their thrust attack, even if great spears go up a little bit. Gives you a little bit more distance. So now I'm thinking, there must be gravity. There's a way I can throw them off a cliff. And I'm going over here because there's a hole in the ground, and people are so hell-bent on chasing me, so hell-bent on running and just running attack. See, the hole, I can throw them in the hole. I've seen people do this before. This is the first time I've managed to do it. So we have the healing talisman on. We have our last raw meat dumpling. If I can make this jump and then somehow stop the host like that, then I can get the win. And the blues, one of them realizes, oh, it's over. That was a rough one. It was mostly a lot of stamina management and an understanding of what's going on. When you're fighting 3 people with one of them cheating, there's nothing you could ever do. You could maybe kill the 2 blues, but the blues are not very often for me easy to kill, especially when the host is just running towards you as an unkillable death ball. But you can exploit that by getting them to run into a hole. And also, I could have stayed there at the edge of the cliff to make sure that I pushed the host into the hole. But there wasn't any need for that. They're not gonna make that jump. They're trying to do running attacks. They're too hell-bent on chasing me. So yeah. That is how you would understand this guy's cheating, by testing, figuring that out. Prepare for the worst by having the frenzy boluses ready. Understand, like, waiting to see what's going on. Don't immediately just run in and start swinging. This guy's covered in poise. Your weapons are not really going to work against him. Have stuff ready for the situations that are actually really difficult. Not just out of spite, but out of necessity for situations like this. You should always have the power to fight someone a little bit more when you really need to. And you should also have the ability to enjoy the struggle of fighting multiple opponents. Because that will allow you to deal with situations like this. Because you'll learn what to do when you're fighting multiple opponents that you can't defeat. Because one of them is protecting the other two and is completely unkillable. Unless, like, with your setup. Especially because they respected the one thing that could probably actually kill them. So moving on. Pure Faith. So how to play a maze. So immediately, we walk up, we throw a lightning spear to assert dominance. It's like, hey, my buffs are gonna run out, you don't know I'm here yet, have a lightning spear. And that doesn't work. Because that never works. Do it again. Because we have room. This phantom is a problem. You see how much bleed I just got from that? That's a problem. We need to get out of here right now. Cure that bleed. They're so crazy. They just whiffed all their attacks and allowed me to do that. Let's use an armored attack and see if they run in confidently. Hey, they did. Cool, they're dead now. That's what you get. Eat this lightning spear. Ha, you didn't dodge. I guess I'm winning now. Oh, you think you can just do that? Also, teabag this guy because they are using a very powerful bleed build and they died in one hit. Dodge this. Hey, you shouldn't do that. Eat this lightning spear. Oh, wow, you almost died. I don't think that trade was worth it. Oh, don't push that button. And then style on them. So with your buffs active, you don't want to... Like, you just want to run in. Because your buffs are going to run out. You need to use those buffs. You need to make sure you get in there, you start swinging. But at the same time, you don't want to die. You just want to bait them into getting hit. So this is supposed to be a build based off of my Dark Souls 3 one-shot glass cannon build, which does much the same thing, but the problem with Elden Ring is you don't need to be a glass cannon to kill people in one hit, because they won't level health for some reason, you idiot! Lose half your health! The Hone Bolt is a noob killer. If I'm getting overwhelmed, or if you need to do this early on. If you know there's 3 of them, you need to kill one of them very quickly. Honed Bolt is an easy way for this build to do that, because you can delay the timing if you think they're smart, or you could just hit them twice, and then they die. Like that. Like that. I don't feel like killing the host yet. Let's just kill this guy. Boop, boop. Oh, you didn't do the right thing. You're dead now. That's what you get. There's still 2 of them. They're approaching me. Let's blow this guy up. Oh, the host died. Why, though? The host was just fine. They were circling behind me. What happened? I didn't hit them with that. Did I? What happened? Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. I guess I hit the host with that, and they died immediately. Okay, so this one. We're all buffed up. They're far away from me. Let's test them by throwing some lightning spears. And then change to the host, because the host is here. See, you're locked onto this guy. Here's something I take for granted. If you're locked onto someone, they know that you're trying to attack them. They know that if you push a button, it's headed towards them. Which means if I change who I'm locked onto at the last second, they're not always ready for that. But now these guys, because they dodge the lightning spears, okay, can you dodge Hone Bolt? So he dodged Hone Bolt, because most of the time when people are very low health, they will suddenly get smarter. Now, I recognize, okay, that guy dodged. Where's the host? I still have stamina and FP. I'm gonna hit the host. Do you know how to dodge? No, you don't. Good job, Phantom. You really protected the host. Whoa, whoa, whoa. No. So, this Phantom's still attacking me, even though the host is dead. I outspace them. I poof them in the face. Because it's fun. We also have regeneration on this character. So this time we spawn next to the host, right? What do I do now? Okay, so they're throwing magic at me. I use my iframes to buff up, because this buff is incredibly helpful. I push this guy away from me by scaring them with Catch Flame. So people correlate Catch Flame with something that will roll catch them if you are oppressive. So if this guy gets hit by it, which they don't, because they're like, oh no, he's looking at me, this guy's afraid now. This is something I take for granted. I know how to make people afraid of what I'm gonna do. I look at this guy and start attacking them. They are afraid now. They back away. I know the host is still attacking me, so I dodge their attack. The Phantom still recovering from being looked at, like actually, which is funny, is gonna be over there for a few more seconds. So the host, on the offensive, trying to protect their friend because they're afraid, is now the target. And we are in a temporary 1v1 scenario. The host, however, has the advantage because they started attacking. So I need to interrupt and steal their turn. The host, for some reason, decides to fully charge their attack. I, knowing that I can just throw a lightning spear at them and not care because my health is high enough, do that. And hit them in the face for half their, well, 75% of their health. Now, the Phantom has recovered. I, trying to finish off the host because I have the opportunity to, am trying to use Hone Bolt. Unfortunately, that gets interrupted because the Phantom has recovered and has started doing an L2 on me. And I, in that moment, took a lot of damage. I have 40 vigor, which results in 1,450 hit points, and we almost died. So, maybe I am a glass cannon. Unfortunately, the host ran out of FP right there, so they were not able to punish me for restoring all my health. If I wanted to, I could have thrown a lightning spear at them and killed them, but I wasn't ready for that. I'm trying to deal with the Phantom who's currently attacking me. Sort of. They're not completely sure. They're very afraid because I started throwing lightning spears at them, which do half their health. They're scared of that, especially since I have all my health back and didn't die from one hit, which they're probably used to, because this is level 77. So the host rolls into me, having run out of FP, and is trying to attack me with their melee weapon, but they don't understand that they don't have to panic roll towards me, and I just toss the lightning spear in their direction and they die. And now it's time for fun move! Frozen lightning spear! And they die. So, fun move, frozen lightning spear. I know I'm locked onto this guy. They think, because I've been throwing lightning spears this whole time, it's going to go straight towards them, so they just need to dodge to the side. Me, understanding all of this, unlocks. Seeing that they're on the right side, moves the direction of the attack to the right, hits them with the attack. That easy. Doesn't work all the time, but sometimes it does. And when you have the opportunity to do something fun like that, why not? So, recognizing this next invasion here. I've run up this flight of stairs, I've got all my buffs active. We're in a very tight area. There's nowhere to go. The host is right here, presumably trying to summon more people for the boss fight up ahead. The whole reason I'm here is because they're summoning. They have successfully summoned, or they're using the Taunter's Tongue. The host has rivers of blood. We need to be aware of that. The host, not ready for an invader, is afraid of me, which is funny, because I haven't done anything yet. Immediately, we test out how good they are by throwing a lightning spear. They dodge it. So, we follow that up with Hone Bolt. They don't dodge that. They don't dodge it again. But, they're too far away. The reason I stopped right here is because I believe they're too far away for me to hit them with another Hone Bolt. And also because I haven't really done anything yet, and I don't feel like killing them just yet. We need to do more moves. So because they heal, I try to hit them with the lightning spear. I'm a little too slow on that. I think they're trying to tell me, hey, 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 friendly, friendly. But that doesn't really matter to me. I'm an invader. To not attack you would be wrong. So, you can see now, they're trying to use Rivers of Blood on me, but I switched to Catch Flame because I'm done toying with them, and I'm okay with just killing them now. I'm going to punish them to see if they learned anything, and they didn't. So because they didn't learn anything, we go, my lord, in a mocking gesture. Like, behold. So because this area, this text here, is explaining what's happening for me, they're getting away. If they touch this object, it will teleport them into a boss room. I need to throw something at them. So I throw a poison bone dart. I gestured at it with my hand that you cannot see. I throw a poison bone dart. I thought it was a fan dagger, but apparently we're using poison bone darts right now. Because I keep thinking, I would like to use the poison bone dart. It would be effective. However, it's a single projectile, and it doesn't really hit people who move to the side in any manner whatsoever. So, they throw comets at me. That phantom was ready. I don't know why they took damage. I think it's... Oh, it's the host. The host took damage. So, comets. They're attacking me now, so I'll just waste their FP by dodging it. Get farther away, heal up. Barrier of Gold. Upset that they are, in fact, actually coming back after me. Barrier of Gold actually doing work, as you can see. I throw a lightning spear at that guy, and they die. We are at almost the maximum range for lightning spear to have reached the phantom right there. They, spamming Comet, might have run out of stamina right there. Do not run out of stamina. You will die. Also, level your health, as you can see. There's no reason for you not to level your health. I, on this level 77 build, have leveled my health to 40. I still have 72 faith. Plus, like, 62 faith plus 10 from the physic. Like, I have the ability to one-shot you. And you don't. Despite all the damage you did to me. This guy, because they did it earlier, the jump attack, I believe. Okay, they did Lion's Claw. So because they did Lion's Claw, the host, Did Lion's Claw earlier. Also, because I know this guy's just spamming, I throw a Lightning Spear at them to see how much health they have. And they don't have any, so yeah, that's why that happened. Heal up. So because this guy did Lion's Claw earlier, I fearlessly run towards them thinking they're gonna do it again. They do a jump attack, same thing, punish that with Catch Flame. Lightning Spear. Did they fat roll right there? I think they did. They're doing the run. Yeah, they did. So because of these things, they get roll caught by Lightning Spear and die. It's also a setup. Catch Flame into Lightning Spear. As in, Lightning Spear will roll catch them anyway. Not every time, but yeah. Okay, so immediately there's two people here. This person's got the Snow Witch hat. This person's got the Twin Sage helmet. So this is a thing I take for granted. I can identify things, pieces of armor and weapons, immediately because I've looked at them so many times, because I've seen so many people use them, because I know what everything looks like, and I've memorized it, and I know what they do. Typically, this means you're a wizard, and typically that means you're a wizard. However, this one's the bad one. It gives you plus 6 to your intelligence, but it lowers your health by like 2, 3, 400, depending. So I know what they're gonna do. However, my thought process is, oh, they don't know I'm here yet, I'm gonna use Hone Bolt, because it'll destroy one of them. The Phantom knows I'm here, they immediately shoot me. Okay, that's not working. Let's find an opportunity. Let's see how much health you have. Okay, we get hit in the back by Moonveil. The host is spamming Moonveil. Move perpendicular to dodge these spell blasts. Disregard them. You have to run. There was a lull in the spam. I keep thinking the host is not stupid enough to just spam into me, which obviously they are. Because I was going to start blasting them with Catch Flame, and then suddenly there's a Blue Phantom here. For some reason, the Blue Phantom thinks, I'm going to run up an L2 with the slowest and least effective L2 in the game. So I, wanting to create some distance, use Frozen Lightning Spear. I said earlier it's a fun attack, and it really is, but it does scare people. So that's important. So the Phantom, blasting magic at me, gets magic blasted back at them. Me. So the reason why this worked, this right here, this roll catch that I just did, this whole setup right here, scare the Phantom away. The blue is being stupid and also attacked by wolves. The blue is showing that they are not capable of doing what they need to do to stop me from doing what I'm trying to do. So I ignore them, especially because they're attacking a wolf now. This guy is annoying. I need to kill them. I throw a Lightning Spear at them to make them panic. Especially because I'm so close to the blue, who I could probably kill very quickly, and then get a bunch of heals back, because I have been healing, so. This guy almost dies. This guy almost hits me. I throw another, so the reason this roll catch works right here is because I throw a Lightning Spear. However, I've taken damage, and I'm close to this blue. This Phantom is far away from me. They panic for a couple of seconds, right? They think, okay, I'm far away. I can heal, because I've done this before. I've done this a few times myself. Which is why I know that I can do this right now. So I'm not looking at them either, even though I kind of am. They disregard all this. They think, there's no way they'll hit me. There's no way they'll throw another Lightning Spear for no reason. I throw another Lightning Spear because their health is low, and I know all these things are happening. Now, the host almost saves them, if you can see that. And I get punished for this severely. At any other level, this would have been game over for me right now, because I just got hit by a Moonveil and a Colossal Sword. I would have died if these guys were not the same level as I am. This guy was the problem, which is why it was okay for me to prioritize attacking them, even if it was on a whim of experience, of possibility, that if this lands, you die. Therefore, I'm gonna try to do it, because I don't care about these two. And so that's why it worked. So now we have to just fight these two. The host is insane. The Phantom, the blue Phantom, is also insane. Also that... What level was that guy? Oh, 8739. That is over level 150. They're like 170 something. So, the blue Phantom right here is using a Frenzy Flame attack. I cannot dodge this. The most I can do is try to get as far away as possible, so that's what I do. He throws Black Fire Orb at me, running R1. So let's see. Will you just attack into me right now? And they do! Unfortunately for the blue, they buffed this to have way more hyper armor. And the blue is dead now. Now we can fight the host. The host is insane. So, respecting that, I spam into them at the first chance I get. To show them, hey, you can't do that. I was having fun fighting your friends. Slow down. You have no friends now. I blew them up. Okay, so we spawn next to these guys. We run up, because they're in front of a boss fog. If they touch that boss fog, there's nothing I can do about it. So I have to use my most powerful attack right now, and see if anyone dies. I didn't have time to buff up. I didn't have time to see who's doing what, or what's even happening. They're in front of the end of the level. If I don't do anything right now, then I'm not going to get to do anything. So we're going in guns blazing. And I almost one-shot the host. So, noticing this is the host, I run up and hit them with the 387. And I get punished heavily for it because my iframes are over now. So, having failed to kill the host, barely, we have to run away. Noticing that I need a bit more damage, I buff up. I get punished for it, because the Phantoms are like, protect the host! Protect them! So me, not believing this guy will swing again, gets hit by the follow-up swing right here. So I managed to get the buff off. Barely. This guy swinging again immediately, not thinking they will swing a third time. Yeah, believing they will swing a third time. So then, in a last-ditch effort to fill the area with lightning, I do this. However, knowing that I do not have enough health to survive this explosion, I get hit in the face with an explosion and die. However, I get lucky, and the host runs into the frozen lightning. So I win anyway. Also, that host is a pretty high level. Over level 90. Level 90 would be... Okay, so the number of runes I got here. 2,059. Level 90 would have given me 1,919. They're over level 90. I'm level 77. The highest level I can invade is 28 levels higher than 77, which is 105. This is not 100. Well, maybe it is. 125 is 3,700 something. So, yeah. Those are just experience things. I know that this many runes is that such high of a level. It only matters when you win. Like, you can only figure it out once you win, so it doesn't really matter for the fight itself. Like, it will once you figure it out, but since you'd have to win, it therefore doesn't matter because that means you won anyway, so... Point down. I didn't even notice that. I was like, I already won. There isn't a thing you can do about it. So, we invade here. We're buffed up this time. Initiator. Flame of the Fell God. So because these guys are standing around waiting for me to do something, instead of throwing a lightning spear at them right at the start to assert dominance, let's throw a floating orb of destruction that blows up and then leaves a lingering flame effect that I can stand in and safely throw lightning spears at people who don't do a jumping attack at me. And also because you're looking at the giant fireball, let's test if you're actually only looking at the giant fireball by using something that spawns on your position that you'd have to be looking at me to understand when to dodge. Oh, you're not? Let's do it again. Oh, you can't see because it's gonna blow up now, huh? Okay, let's see if you're scared of the orb. No, they're too far away. So we're done doing that now. The fire orb, this is why. So, I found an interesting interaction of Flame of the Fell God. I'm gonna cast this into the wall. It's gonna blow up, and you get hit by it. Yay! I also have Wrath of Gold right now because I was messing around. Like, it's fun to see what we can do. And then I apply the same idea right here from earlier. Not this. I think the host was back there. That's why I was using Wrath of Gold. Fortunately, for them, they weren't. We apply the thing I said way earlier, where I lock onto one target, and I switch to the other one. Oh, and then there's a third target! I didn't even know that. So now we have to be afraid. However, we have Wrath of Gold, so I push them all back, because they're being too aggressive. Wrath of Gold actually working right there makes me want to use that. So, Bestial Sling. I'm trying out Bestial Sling here to see if I like it more than Catch Flame, because it has a bit more range to it. I can use it as an offensive option. And it's kind of working. But this guy has a bow. A short bow with serpent arrows. They're trying to poison me. I don't like that. But I'm also trying to see if these spells are good or not. Okay, so this Phantom is using Stars of Ruin. We have to dodge that. We cannot play until they're done. So to punish that, I run up and Bestial Sling them, which is a good reason to use Bestial Sling. I mess up this pot throw. This guy's using his fire attack. That does a lot of damage. Make sure you dodge that. Have to dodge this now. Throw another Lightning Spear at them, just to check. I've gotten hit several times, especially by the Archer now. So I've run out of FP, as you can see. But I have a backup weapon. And I'm trying to conserve FP. The host, insane, is using Comet Ezra, or at least the Sword of Knife and Flames Comet Ezra on me. They, afraid to approach me for any reason, are throwing all the projectiles they have at me. This guy, thinking they know what they're doing, tries to do a backstep attack on me, and gets punished for it. This guy, approaching me, turns around the moment I look at them. Understanding they no longer have the element of surprise, they immediately run away because they're afraid to play the game. So, the host, being the host and the one who is being carried by these two, which, by the way, this is an arrow coming after me again, because that's what these guys are doing, is now alone and just wandering off doing their own thing because they think, oh, my phantoms can deal with it. This guy, crazy, is actually running in, which is good. However, the archer is still shooting at me, so I'm not ready to deal with both of these things, because getting hit causes the screen to move, which causes me to think, oh no. And also, this was the host right behind me. Luckily, they're not very good. So me, having successfully tricked them into thinking I'm out of magic, blasts them with magic, and kills this guy. This guy, not understanding that Hone Bolt will two-shot them, dies. Again, we do the trick where I recognize, I look at someone, see, we can see right here, they turn. They turn right there. I, thinking, okay, this guy has dodged everything so far. Every time I've tried to be aggressive towards them, they've turned around, gotten out of range. They're not a problem. I'm gonna blast the host. I blast the host. Unfortunately, I was out of stamina, so I couldn't continue to blast the host. That's okay, though. We will test it again. Now, you weren't ready that time because maybe you thought I'd do the same thing again. I'm honestly not sure why you got hit by that, but you're probably gonna dodge this one, right? Okay, cool. I'm gonna switch targets. Okay, the host is dodging now. I messed up the timing. I tried to delay that one. That's why that didn't work out. Out of FP again, I mashed into the host. The host actually has health, which is surprising. Jumping attack to punish this attack the Phantom did, because you can do that. The host pushes their big damage button. I punish them because they tried to hit me. I have more FP because that phantom died earlier. This guy, I don't know why people do this. He switched to Black Blade. I almost punished their heal, but because you can move while healing, and they had just recovered from a roll, there was a slight delay in their movement, which prevented the like, what is it called? The homing of the lightning spear. So they were able to dodge it just by moving out of the way. Me, upset that happened, sees they pulled out a shield, starts trying to play around that. Seeing the host has given up, and this is a 1v1 now, I play more aggressively. Upset. Didn't space that properly. Noticing this person delayed that attack, I waited. Trying to outrange and punish them. Also not very good at that true combo yet. Trying to mash into them. Thinking they will be aggressive for some reason. Successfully punishing that time. They were out of heals. We can kill the host now. Come here, host. Have a fireball. So because the host is not very good, I decided to mess with them. So we used the Flaming Fell God. They gave up, which they had given up a while ago. That's fair. It's not, but that's what you get. You summon friends, you get invaded. So yeah, that's Magic PvP. Personally, if you want to play a pure mage, I believe you don't need FP. You need to effectively use your magic. It needs to actually hit people. You don't want to just spam it at them and hope it hits. More than once. And only randomly. You don't want to do it more than once. Unless you know that you can just shoo with the 2-shot comet and just kill whoever's in your general direction. Because sometimes, you know, they're not going to expect you to do that. If you have the element of stealth, and you can just pew they're dead, you should do that. If you know the opponent is going to do something you can punish, pew, you should do that. And you should know that you can do that. And you should not spend all of your FP in one action. Like, your FP is a very precious resource. It's not going to go much higher if you level your mind. I only have 100 more, which is just going to give me twice as many actions. Which you might think, oh, that doubles my actions. That's very helpful. For 20 levels? For 20 levels, you're going to double your actions. You better be one-shotting people with those levels. Those do not do anything if you don't have 80 intelligence. And if you have 80 intelligence and 30 mind, what else do you have if you run out? When you run out of FP, because you're going to run out of FP, what are you gonna do? Do you also have a weapon? Do you have the Dark Moon Greatsword? Okay, you have a weapon. You can still do something. You no longer have access to half of your build. Which is what happens when I start using the melee here. I don't have access to half of my build. Which is why I tried to trick them into thinking I was out of mana. Out of FP. At least I think I did. At anything, I tried to conserve it. You have to incorporate the magic into your playstyle. When your opponent... You need to also recognize that your opponent's not getting hit. And you need to slow down, conserve your FP, play the melee fight, and randomly try to 2-shot them. So yeah, that's difficult. It's difficult to play a pure mage. So let's go more into detail about the things I take for granted. You know, I've given you a bit of footage of invasions, and I've talked over them now. So stamina management, you can't really show that off when you're out of combat, but I talked about it a little bit earlier. You don't want to run out of stamina, because you won't be able to run if you run out of stamina. So, you need to make sure you don't run out. You need to have a little bit left. You can run out if you feel like you'll get the kill, or you'll be able to pressure someone without someone punishing you. But it's generally not a good idea to run out of stamina ever. Like, if you're running away, you can put on one of the turtle talismans to increase your stamina recovery. Or you can have, the turtle shield, which increases your stamina recovery. And the reason this is important, because if you have a ton of stamina, right? Or you have the same amount of stamina as someone else, or they're, like, managing their stamina really well while you're running away, having faster recovery gives you the edge. It allows you to stop for a brief moment and recover much faster than they will, which will allow you to get away more often than not, because you'll have more effective stamina much faster than they will. It means you'll be able to run away more often. If you're running away, quick swap to the turtle talisman. Let's see. Rhythmic experience. So you might not know exactly the timing of every single attack. But if you have any experience with rhythm, you know the exact time that you can perform an animation. You know how long until you have time to perform an animation. Like, you've seen it so many times, you know exactly when to push a button. Like, this is without the recovery without using block cancel. And this is the recovery with using block cancel. It's much faster. And you can practice this like this. So if you can make your teabags as fast as possible without messing up the timing, like, as you can see, I'm messing up the timing sometimes. I'm trying to get it as fast as possible. Then you can understand the rhythm. Now, this doesn't translate immediately, but if you hold block, you can tap the crouch button to teabag, right? And you can hyper teabag. And this is actually a good way to practice your rhythm. Because if you can get into this rhythm automatically, without really thinking too much about it, then you can do stuff like block cancel at the exact right moment. Because otherwise, you'll have to wait this split second. And those split seconds matter when 3 people are going after you. And the timing for attacks is different. Lots of things have longer recovery. And you need to know how long that recovery is just by watching. And I know that, because I've done it so many times. And you can't really block cancel out of a jump attack. You still can, but the recovery's so long, it doesn't really matter. Rhythmic experience. You just have to swing your weapon a lot. Get used to how long it takes to recover from stuff. How long it takes for people to charge things. The problem with magic, though, is it's very dependent on your dexterity modifier and your virtual dexterity modifier, which is Radagon Icon and Beloved Stardust. I do not recommend using Beloved Stardust. So there's also 3-dimensional awareness. So with a lot of experience, you can start to understand where things are without turning the camera. So, like, we know to the right is the Dragon Communion altar for the Grand Altar of Dragon Communion. And to the left is going to be this pathway. Now, if we close our eyes, we spin in a circle, we don't know anything anymore. But we have a general idea of which direction we stopped in. And you can center the camera, so if I turn around this way, I'm pretty sure I'm facing the Dragon Communion altar now. Yeah. So that's 3-dimensional awareness. Being able to see stuff without knowing which way it really is. And, you know, you can do that using your ears. You can hear things. You can do that using, that's pretty much it. You know, your memory, your ability to know, okay, this guy just walked behind me. It's going to take them a little bit of time to attack me. Because I hurt them real bad, and so therefore, they're probably going to want to heal first, and get away from me. Especially if I'm using an AoE of some sort. Okay, that's three-dimensional awareness. You need to know, and the easiest way to know is to take a quick scan of your surroundings. It's like, okay, find where the enemies are. Look around. Get your bearings. Open the PlayStation menu. Figure out, is there 3 players? Is there 2 players? Is it just a solo host? Are blue phantoms gonna show up? Are there other reds going in? Like, you need to identify what's going on, react to that accordingly, and then remember where it is for a brief amount of time so that you can deal with it even when you're not looking where it is. And then you need to get them all in your field of view immediately. In the methods of Pally, it's very important to keep everyone within your line of sight. Because if they're not in your line of sight, then there's no way you can know what they're doing. You can make a guess, which is what I've been trying to tell you, as to what they're going to do, but that doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen. You need to prepare. You need to know, how much health do I have? How many times can I get hit? How much damage does this guy do when they do the attack they've been doing, or their strongest attacks, so that I can know I can survive the next hit, which means that I can play aggressive. That's difficult to do. It requires a lot of experience, a lot of looking at things and figuring out, okay, my health bar is this long, it went down by this much, therefore I can take one more hit before I need to get away. Or, these guys can both hit me at the same time and I won't die. Things like that. And then there's, let's see, how to play the build properly. So, builds. Builds require lots and lots of planning. You need to understand every single button. You can get away with just doing running attack most of the time, but if you mess up the timing, which is rhythmic experience, and an understanding of how your recovery animations work, which if I block right there to cancel it, it messes up the timing, because you can't do a running attack while you're blocking, which means that I have to wait just about as much time as I would have to do a running attack as if I didn't do a block at all. So block canceling doing running attacks using a shield is not going to work. But using the weapon itself has a different recovery, I think. No, that's a lie. Forget that. Block canceling running attacks is not a good idea. You should just do the running attack, wait for the recovery, and then do it again, because your run will start much faster than if you did the block cancel. Okay, so, using the shield. The shield recovers faster than a roll. It has more frames, like faster frames than rolling. So some instances, you can block, even if you couldn't dodge. Very rarely. And it's not a good idea most of the time, because if you're fighting a max level phantom, and you're like level 84, then you can't block their attack, because your shield's not fully upgraded, and their AR is stupid high. So they're gonna break your guard immediately, even if you're using a great shield, which is crazy. And then you need to think, what can I deflect? This build has the ability to deflect spells. Which ones can be deflected? I need to remember, Night Comet and Night Shard cannot be deflected. Rocks can't be deflected, but I can block them because they're physical. Things like that, you know? And then it's like, Star Shower can be deflected, but I'm still gonna get hit by all the other projectiles because it'll only deflect one of them. So you need to think about that. You need to keep thinking. Like, how does the build work exactly? And then, like, what kind of damage does the deflect do? Is it magic damage because the projectiles it's deflecting are magic? Or is it holy damage because it's a holy golden retaliation? It is holy, by the way. Pure holy damage. However, you need to then understand that holy damage doesn't get a boost from the Shard of Alexander because the game doesn't work properly. So instead, you opt to not do that. And you would use probably... you might want to use the Sacred Scorpion Charm, because, oh, that's not that much of a defense loss. But in PvP, which it doesn't tell you, it's a 15% damage negation. Pretty sure. It might be maybe 12, 10%. It gets diminished downside. I don't know. It's still... it's a lot for an 8% bonus. Now, there are some cases where that's actually somewhat useful, and this might be one of them. If you're using pure magic, or if you're using like pure holy spells, which there's not very many of, or if you're using the Cipher Patah, or the Cipher Blade, or whatever it's called. I don't remember what it's called. Coated Sword. If you're using the Coated Sword, or the Cipher Patah, then those are pure holy, and therefore you would actually probably benefit from the 8% bonus. So, let's think about this. We have Shield Poke, therefore we can Shield Poke. If I know that I can block an attack, and not get hit by another attack and immediately get guard broken, I can Shield Poke into the opponent. It's also a lot faster than an R1. Or a little bit faster than an R1. Or just simply safer because it's a blocking attack. So this is an option that we need to consider because it's possible. And then we can do jumping attacks, because jumping attacks go farther. We don't want to do a jumping heavy unless we're sure it's going to hit. So we reserve jumping heavies for punishes. Or in certain circumstances, depending on the weapon you're using. Such as... katana. Such as a katana. The jumping light is a horizontal slash. And the jumping heavy is a vertical slash. So you'd want to use the jumping heavy more often because it's more likely to actually hit someone who's jumping. And the horizontal might miss because you did it at the wrong time and you were too high. So you need to think about that. Now this is a jumping stab. So someone could technically jump over it because it's a stab. And then this is a jumping downwards thrust, so it's more likely to hit in a wider area, but still mostly a vertical. You have to think about these things. And then does the attack change when you're two-handing? Is it any different? Like, we can't do that anymore, and then what attacks can we do afterwards? Can we do the crouch attack? Is it worthwhile to animation cancel? Because it's not when you want to do a running attack. It's actually better if you just keep doing the run from what we talked about earlier, and then you never want to do this attack. And why not? Why don't you want to do this attack? Because it hits multiple times. Shouldn't those multiple hits allow me to stun people into the attack and hit them with the final attack for a true combo? Because yes, that does happen sometimes. But not very often, because when it comes to attacks that hit multiple times, the first couple of hits barely do any damage at all. So that's why you don't want to do them, because they don't actually combo into that final attack. So all of your damage goes into the final attack. Now, if you know the exact specifics of the attack, you know that the running attack is going to break their poise and stun them into the attack. What if they dodge it because they have a little bit of latency, their poise gets reset, and now it doesn't work properly. You get roll back stabbed, and now you're dead. You can't know for sure that that's not going to happen. It leaves you so wide open. And it's not... it doesn't do more damage, and it's just for fun. Now, you can do it if they're, like, really low health. Like, one hit away. This is a multi-hit attack. Good luck dodging the whole thing perfectly. It's okay, I have a shield. Deflect, 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 counter. So, yeah. However, I do holy damage, because it's split holy damage. So, your shield's not blocking all the damage, you better have enough health for that. The deflect will probably absorb the holy damage, but still. Can you deflect properly? That's the fun in it. It's like, Can you? Are you sure? Can you do the Daigo parry? Are you good enough for this? No, it's not that crazy, but still. So yeah, while we're one-handed, we have access to Golden Retaliation. We can retaliate spells. If they're not using spells, can I tank their attack and guard poke them? Because I have 100% physical block. I hope, like, you understand this is also a great shield, right? I'm gonna guard counter you. Maybe. I don't know. And then it's like, okay, you guys are using big weapons that I can't block, and you're not using magic. I'm gonna two-hand for the strength bonus, and the poise damage bonus, and also a little bit of hyper armor. So now I have hyper armor, with my R1 attack, which means that I can swing into some attacks, depending on how much poise and hyper armor they have. Well, not hyper armor they have, how much poise damage they have, and how much poise I have, so. And then the R2. It looks like this crouch attack, it's true, but it's kind of slow, but they recently buffed them. And I keep forgetting about that. They buffed the R2, so you could trick someone into a different timing by doing the R2, which looks very similar to the crouch attack. And then, of course, the L2. Uncharged is a shockwave that hits close up, but the charge takes so long, people will be able to tell which one you're doing. So you mostly will use it while they're not able to do that, while they're panicking, which is something I take a lot of advantage of all the time, as I have been saying. If you understand the mental state of your opponent, then you can have a much more effective battle strategy, because you can plan around them panicking. You can plan that they're not going to be aggressive during specific situations. And you can play you can play around that. Like, they're afraid, I'm gonna go in. Or I'm gonna ignore them and fight this guy, who is currently the bigger threat. And then when they start coming again, you make them afraid again, you push them, and then you go back to the opponent, who is now trying to save their friend, and then you kill them for being overzealous, and then the other guy is now scared because you just killed their friend, or they're crazy and they go into a flight of frenzy and they just start attacking you, and then maybe you die because you weren't expecting that, and that's just how it is. So then Siluria's Woe. This charged and uncharged has a ton of hyper armor, but it has a very big problem, which the Moonlight Greatsword also had for a long time, and a lot of projectiles have, actually. If it hits a wall, like that, like if you're trying to shoot it at somebody, it's not always going to go through the wall. Like if you try to do it like this, it's not always going to go through the wall. Okay, it's very difficult. Let's try this. No, that works. Huh. Okay, well, it's difficult, and if they're like up, let's say they're up, you're trying to get in here, like up this way, that doesn't work. It doesn't angle very well. Like, if there's any bump, it's very likely you're gonna hit the bump, and then it's just not gonna work. And then you gotta think, am I out of FP? And you gotta pay attention to this thing over here, where it's grayed out or not. Because with Siluria's Woe, it's all grayed out, see? See over here? And it's not grayed out over here, which means we can do one more Golden Retaliation. But we can't throw any more Gravity Stone Fans. And see, then you have to think, where does my build lack? Like, obviously, we don't have very quick projectiles. We have to fully charge this before it has a projectile. But that's because we can counter their projectiles to use as a projectile. But what if they don't have projectiles and we want to counter them anyway? Well, then we have the Wraith Calling Bell, which we can't use right now. But if I throw it out, it's slow enough that I can run up behind it and reflect it at them. Which is a little cheesy, so I don't like to do it very often. But if I feel like it, I will. Because it's an option. And then we have Freezing Pots, because admittedly the build doesn't do a lot of damage. And we're not really in a good spot to show that off. So the build doesn't do a lot of damage because it's all split damage, focusing a little more on Holy, but the weapon focuses a little more on strength, and the stats we have are not all that high, especially for Faith. We don't have all that much damage. Like, ignoring the character status attack power, our physical and holy barely overcomes 200 damage. Like, over here, this physical attack power and this holy attack power are not very high. Normally, I recommend having 400 plus in one element, and we don't have that. So instead, we have to focus on our defense, our ability to counter what the opponent is doing, and to be super tanky with our awesome fashion that I really like. Yeah, before we used to have, where is it? This on. It stands out a bit, but the green actually kind of blended a little, because it was dark, but the silver stands out a lot. Now we have this nice red, and it fits perfectly. It matches the scarf. It's so nice. The silver mask still stands out, but that's not too bad. But I just really like it. So anyway, what's the downside of the build? We don't have any projectiles. Okay, what if we had freezing pots? So we throw a freezing pot at someone to make up for our lack of damage by debuffing them, and to also give us a projectile that we can throw. Isn't that nice? However, sometimes it doesn't always work. Also, we have the Wraith Calling Bell. I mentioned this because we can run up behind it. Now, normally you'd be locked onto someone, so it would actually, like, follow downwards at the same height level. But yeah, and then wake up, Gravity Stone fans. The arrangement of my consumables is very important, because you need to have the muscle memory ready. The first one is the flask. You should always feel safe knowing that if you hold down on the D-pad, if you reset your consumables to the first slot, you are now on your healing. Now, personally, I like to have my blue flasks away. Get it away from me. Get that thing as far away from me as possible. I do not want to drink the wrong flask. But we now have this option, which allows me to do this once and never again, do this whenever I need it, and then bolus up whenever I need that. Very helpful. Very, very helpful. And then, because it's a more complicated action of hold triangle, then push D-pad, which prevents me from using, I don't know, anything else. Not really. Apparently you can still do that. Interesting. Interesting. That's really weird, though. I don't think that would ever come up, but you can heal while your pouch is open. So you can use consumables while your pouch is open. So, first one. Really quick, close-range option. Get them away from me, hit them on wake up. Something that's difficult to dodge. Something that's fun to just throw out, that I don't really need to think about too much. Projectile, usually the pot. Something that I can throw. It takes a few seconds to throw. It does exactly what I need it to, when I need it to do it. It takes a little bit of finesse sometimes to throw. And then the fourth option, which is typically a knife, to break their bubble. Utilize more of the build's mechanics, such as this deflect. Something that is very likely to hit them, that they can't really react to, or that I can follow behind like that. You know, like, I would use Glintstone Scraps, Wraith Calling Bell, or a Fan Dagger in this slot. And then I wouldn't put anything else, because I want to keep the muscle memory for all the other Souls games, with Dark Souls 1 making it so you only have 5 pouches right here. So I never want to have more than 5 items. And then because the game forces the Phantom Bloody Finger to teleport with into your inventory, I always leave a spot open for that. Then we have great bolts equipped, so that I can swap to cannon, so that I can snipe people off of a cliff. And we understand the armor gives us a ton of defense, so weighing into that, we give ourselves a ton of health to benefit from the ton of defense. And then, seeing as there's not really any more options to increase that, we could put on more defense. However, the Dragon Crest Great Shield is only physical, which we have a 100% physical block shield, and therefore wouldn't benefit from. The magic one would probably help us a lot, but then we're not protected from lightning or holy, and we could put on the all of them one, but that one is not as strong as all the others. By a large amount, actually. And then all of these get nerfed in PvP. And then you might think, oh, well, what about bleed? And see, the problem with defense is eventually more defense is not going to get rid of your problem that's lowering your health in the first place. So you would probably want more offense in that situation. So, what's the most useful offense tool we have? The spear. Of course, the spear is the most useful offensive tool we have. Now, what's the most powerful attack of the spear that we want to actually do damage so that people are actually afraid of it? The Ash of War. Fully charged, which is a projectile used to punish people for using stuff that takes a long time to recover from, like dragon breaths. So, we put on the Godfrey icon to increase that, because it's the only thing that still buffs holy damage. Because this is holy damage. Sort of. I think it's like holy physical, it's weird. And then we can have another long-range projectile that causes knockdown, so that we can do that if we don't have time to switch to cannon, or if they are just up on a cliff, and we don't really need to recover from shooting the cannon, we can just throw a giant pot. We can have our heals right here, just to have them. You can honestly put anything you want right here. This is just what I do, because you're never going to be able to do this mid-fight. These are things you would use when you have free time, when people are not rushing you down. You can prepare. You can set up a surprise attack. So the Warming Stone, when I get away from them, I can heal back up. I don't have to search through my inventory for where they are. It's just right here. There you go. Hefty Rock Pot. Throw that at someone who isn't aware of me as an initiator, because they don't know I'm there and they're not ready to dodge it. Does a good amount of damage. Pushes them off of cliffs. Things like that. So we're a strength build. That means we can use strength weapons. Typically, I like to stick to one weapon and only do that forever. But that has hit me, that has come back to bite me, because I am now thinking there's all these weapons I wish I used, and I just don't because they don't fit the build. Right? Like, I have builds specifically to use specific weapons, which is what this is as well. So I can use the shield, so that I can use the spear. And because I look cool, and I think the idea is nice. And it works. We can't do anything else. And that's fine, because I have 20 builds. But not everyone is going to be able to do that, and I understand that. Understand that. That's why I have videos about how to make builds around weapons. And, you know, you could just back up the save, use the larval tears, figure it out. But yeah. That's the idea. So I guess, thank you for watching. This is really complicated, I know. It's things I take for granted, things that are hard to explain, things that are, you know, things I've learned from 12 years of experience, 13 almost now. Next year I think it's going to be 13. Not 2025 yet. Well, have fun. Fun's the most important thing. For me, fun means running in, reacting to what the opponent's doing, outplaying them, beating two or three opponents. And it's not fun for me to fight one person. Because one person knows how to fight one person. And I'm not really experienced with that. I will admit, I'm not very good at dueling. Because I want to have fun. I want to run in, I want to swing my weapon. I'm not there to win, I'm there to have fun. Now, having fun often means winning, because I just said I want to outplay everyone, but that's not the same thing as fighting one person. Because outplaying one person is not hard. All I have to do